Hi, everybody. My name is Bill Galarza, and I went undefeated in one of my Winnamats this weekend at New York Comic Con. Um, I actually played multiple times throughout the weekend, and I got into the finals two other times, so for a total of three. So I got into the finals three times, lost twice, but then in my final Winnamat, I won the mat. So, you know, big ups to that. Um, yeah, I'm playing Numeron Mystic Mine. It's different. It's different from the Jeff Leonard build. I found my opponents were slow playing me a lot through the games when I was playing that build, so I just wanted something to just kill quicker. So I came up with this. All right, I guess we'll just get started. I just won't really mention the cards that people already know about with this deck. So 3 Planet Pathfinder. No need to explain that. Then 3 Wabi. I'll explain this a little. This card's actually really good to turn on both your Numeron engine and your Mystic Mine engine, because you can place it when you have mine to just lock them if they make you go first, or going second if you're playing Numerons. This in defense is an OTK because you can attack with all your monsters, and the very last one will be at 8,000, and this will be clear. So you'll attack for 8,000. They can't even imperm you when you do that, unless they have it on the field, obviously. Okay, so that card's amazing. Best card of the deck, I feel. Numeron Wall. This card was okay. Let me bait out some things. Also helped keep me alive in some games when I didn't have anything on the field. If they like Harpy's Feather Duster or Lightning Storm or something like that, this would save me. So it really helped. Then I played 2 Lava Golem. I tried to blind going second with this deck, just because it's a lot better going second than it is going first. Going first, you can pretty much either just Mystic Mine Wabi or Zexal Lock, and that's about it. But, I mean, it's still one. That still did plenty. So that's all my monsters that I played. Small monster count. You don't want to play monsters in mine. Anyway. Then, Heart and Soul of the deck. You have to play this, obviously. At least in this build. So, I played this, like, just because it's really good to bait your opponents out. You'll usually just, like, start off with the network, and then you'll start, doing your shenanigans. The monsters get banished during the end phase, too, so it doesn't conflict with mine. So you can choose which one to do first, either banish the monsters or banish for mine, or use Mystic Mine's effect. But this card's really good because you can, like, bait them into an OTK, and then if they don't stop it, you can either OTK them, or at the end of it all, you can just place Mystic Mine, and then your Numerons will leave at the end phase. Since I'm playing special summons in this deck, I couldn't play Duality, so I played this instead. So I can summon all my Numerons and draw 4 cards. I play Saryuja in the extra deck too, so like sometimes it would happen. If you drew for Memories of Hope and didn't see what you wanted, you could make Saryuja to draw more cards for a total of 8. Obviously, you have to put some of them back, but still. All right, MVP this whole weekend. Best card in this deck. I feel one of the best. People would slow play me a lot, so this really helped. But what I did in one of my matches against one of my opponents is we were in game 3 and he had slow played me pretty much throughout the rest of it. So what I did to punish him is I gained life points every turn instead. So I went up 500, then 1,000, 15, and pretty soon, like, there was just no way he was coming back, so he had to scoop. It's a really good strategy. This card's underrated. So I played 3 Extravagance. I felt that, you could still banish like cards in the extra deck, but because you have so many of the same cards, you're not usually banishing all of them. And it didn't happen. I usually kept at least one of each piece of the Numeron gates in my extra deck, so I was able to still do stuff. Once I banished the Zexal, but it wasn't a big deal. I still won that game. The only 2 targets I use for Left Arm Offering is either to search for Mystic Mine or to search for Mystic Mine or to search for Cauldron of the Old Man. That's the whole point. Like, I don't play Goddess Skuld's Oracle I'm citing Prohibition, so I'm not even maining Field Barrier, so the only other target is Cauldron of the Old Man. I only played one of these. This card sucks if you're playing against Infernobles. And they just hand loop you, they'll leave this card in your hand because they won't special again and will just attack. So this card, especially in this version of like a going second Mystic Mind build, this card is not that good. But some opponents will make you go first, so it is nice to just have the insurance there. I might take it out though. It wasn't very good. This card, MVP. The whole weekend, this card won me and saved me so many games. You can, so it'll help you resolve Mystic Mind a lot easier. On top of that, last format, when Adamantipator's were running around, he set up Herald, Borreload Savage with two negates and a gate blocker on the field. And an IP Masquerena in attack position. So, what I did was I activated my Numeron wall. I activated my Numeron engine. My Numeron network. And then when he tried to negate it, I just played this and sent all the other cards from my hand to the graveyard. And then all of his monsters were halved, so I just went in for an OTK after that. Also, in the finals, my opponent, he got to attack me game 3 going first. And I had this set, so I didn't I took all the damage. And the next turn when he came in again, he didn't summon any other monsters and he just attacked me again. Because I didn't draw it once again, and this card saved me. Because I could send cards from my hand to the field to have his attack. So he left me at 12. But then I played Cauldron of the Old Man and I just gained all that life back. So this card, I feel like in this version of the deck, it's mandatory to play because if you make Zexal or you make Saryuja or you have a Lost World token or something like that, you need to be able to tribute it. And this card will do it for you. I think I've searched it in any of the games I've played. I've searched it with Left Arm Offering once because I needed to get the token off the field. Then I just ended up playing 2 Dark Ruler No More, 3 Infinite Impermanence. This was to be able to stop the big negate boards if they're going first. And then I needed a way to be able to interact with my opponents without using any monster effects. I wanted people are playing Triple Tactics Talents a lot, and I wanted to be able to turn off those Triple Tactics Talents because I'm not playing any hand traps. Because the whole format is just filled with formats all over the place, or filled with hand traps all over the place. So you just Triple Tactics Talent was another dead card in their hand. And then the Metaverse. People made me go game 1, and I opened this. It was game 100% of the time. Everybody scoops. Everybody scoops their game 1 to be able to have more time for games 2 and 3. And that's against this version of the deck, that's not viable. I promise every game, I was reporting before any of my opponents. About 10 to 20 minutes before any of my other tournament people, I was doing that. I was reporting 10 to 20 minutes early. People were slow playing me heavy too. So it just wasn't a viable strategy. Okay, so I'll just go into the side deck first. I played 15 going first cards. I played 3 Curse Seal the Forbidden Spell, 2 Prohibition, 2 Field Barrier, 2 Huge Revolution is Over, 3 Dark Bribe, 3 Judgment. I was blinding second my first games because I felt that if I was just able to establish mine, everybody would scoop, and that was the case. No one stayed in after I played Mystic Mind. So then when that happens, usually they're siding and they're putting a bunch of spell and trap hate and stuff like that, and they're gonna make you go first because it's Mystic Mind. Mystic Mind doesn't work very as well going first, so you just side in 15 traps going second, and then just, wish them the best. Usually I would take out the Numeron engine, but if that was working, then I would just leave the Field Barriers out, the Huge Revolutions are out and stuff, and just kind of play with these cards and leave some Numeron cards in there. I'd still take out Memories of Hope, but, I take out some of the Numeron cards, but still... just because I knew that they would make me go first, and I knew that was happening so often that I just needed a way to just make a really good going first deck and a really good going second deck. So I didn't play any other special side deck cards, just these ones. I feel like the only card that didn't come in clutch this weekend was the Huge Revolution is over. I figured if people were playing Lightning Storm, Twin Twisters, or Harpy's Feather Duster, this card would work. To not be able to burn one of these curse seals, this card was the best card the whole weekend. But Huge Revolution, it just, like, in theory, it's really good because you can just stop whatever they're trying on you. But in practice, I didn't play it once. So usually people would, like, if they didn't evenly matched me, they Imperial ordered me. I lost, like, I lost some games to Imperial Order. So I think that's what I would change out of this side deck, is just I would add spell and trap removal specifically to get through Imperial Order, because that card came out and I just lose. And then for the extra deck, I played 3 of each. You're playing Extravagance. You need to see it. You need to be able to, like, still summon these after you Extrav. It's pretty good. And then I didn't actually banish any of these for most of the weekend. Like, if I played Pot of Extravagance, I still had 1 of each. So it wasn't really that big of a deal. Like, it did happen to me. Don't get me wrong. Like, it did happen to me, but the times that it happened versus the times that it didn't were, like, few and far between. So, x-0, best card in the extra deck. I probably would have played a second one. In the future, I might just play a second one. I didn't really see it banished a whole lot with Pot of Extravagance, which was really lucky on my part, but... and then Saryuja, just if you're doing Memories of Hope and you want to draw into Forbidden Droplet, you'll do this. Or if you've already drawn into Droplet, you can go into Saryuja and then play Mystic Mine if you're going first. And then when they summon any sort of monster, you just flip the Forbidden Droplet, tribute the Saryuja to negate their effect, and then it's over. Or the same thing can happen where you give them a Wabi, and then you tribute a monster with your Droplet, and then they're locked. So I would do that with Saryuja a lot. Card's okay. I didn't make this a single time this whole weekend. In theory, it's good, I guess. But I guess I would just play a second Zexal instead. I needed that way more than I needed this. Didn't summon this the whole weekend. Banished it a lot, though, so, you know, it's lucky. So, again, I played 3 rounds. I played 3 matches, or 3 Winamats, sorry. And I got into the finals twice. The time, I'll just tell you about the time that I won, though. So round 1, I went against Generator Numeron. That's a stall deck, so, you know, it was a free win after I established Mystic Mine. You know, then game 2, he just, you know, we just kind of went back and forth, and then I went into game 3. Like, game 2, he just set up a bunch of negates, and then game 3, I was able to Mystic Mine lock him, so that was that. Round 2, I played against Zodiac Dogmatica. What was interesting about this matchup is I played him for finals in the last Winamat that I played in. So I played him in the finals for the Winamat, and he Imperial ordered me 2 out of those 3 games. So that was rough. Then I played again in the last Winamat, and I played him for finals. So it was like redemption, I feel. Kind of. Anyway. He won a game with Imperial Order again, so that was kind of frustrating. But in game 3, so we kind of just like, he got game 2 with the Order. Was it game 1 or game 2? I know he did it in one of those games. He did Order, but then game 3 we were playing, and he got to do some damage on me. He left me at, like, I want to say, like, either 12 or 22 or something like that. And I went in and I searched for Cauldron of the Old Man because I could establish Mystic Mine, and this was game 3. And I just started burning him. I didn't burn him. I started, like, gaining life. He's, like, it was weird because the whole game, it felt like it was a really slow game. Like, I was going as fast as possible, just giving, you know, doing what I had to do and then just passing. But it felt like he just kept looking at his cards. He did have more cards, so obviously he was able to look through stuff. But it just felt like he was really slow playing it. So in game 3, what I ended up doing is I put Cauldron of the Old Man and instead started gaining life because he had attacked me. So I wanted to see if I happened to get into time, which again I was not trying to do, but if I did get into time, I was able to gain life and have more life than him. So even if he did out the Mystic Mine, it would be multiple turns before he could actually like get me underneath his life points. But it didn't work that way. At the end of it, I did it and I got a bunch of life. And as soon as I got over his threshold of life again, he scooped the game. So that was that. Then game 3. And this when I'm at was against Dinos. He won the dice roll and went first, and he bricked, so that was unfortunate for him. Well, he bricked, so then I activated Mystic Mine, and he just scooped from there. Game 2, I lost to Imperial Order. That card's insane. And then game 3, I locked him, but he was able to out it at one point. So he was able to like swing in for some damage, but then in my last turn, he would have killed me because he didn't summon another monster. So I activated Forbidden Droplet, and he didn't have enough life, or he didn't have enough monsters to take my life in that game. So he lost. It started snowballing for me after that turn. So it was rough. So that was my tournament, and I think this deck's really good. It's pretty underrated. The Numerons I feel are really underrated. Hopefully they found a new home. Thanks, everybody.